Sam never thought a simple folded piece of paper could change his life. It was sophomore year, and the classroom buzzed with the dull chatter of students waiting for the teacher to arrive. He sat by the window, tapping his pencil against his notebook when a small note slid across his desk. In messy handwriting it read, "You look bored. Want to help me survive this class?" He glanced around and spotted Chloe a few seats away, her dark hair falling over her shoulder, her lips curling into a mischievous smile. His heart skipped. He wrote back quickly, "Only if you promise not to get us in trouble." That became their ritual. Each day, Chloe would pass him notes, sometimes funny doodles, sometimes complaints about boring lessons, sometimes questions about his dreams. Sam found himself waiting for those small pieces of paper more than anything else. Soon the notes turned into walks home after school. They talked about everything: music, future plans, fears. Chloe wanted to be a writer. Sam wanted to travel the world. They were just kids, but when Sam held Chloe's hand for the first time under the bleachers, he felt something real, something bigger than himself. It wasn't perfect. They had silly arguments, jealous glances, and awkward silences. But their laughter always returned, stronger than before. On the last day of junior year, Sam finally gathered the courage to whisper the words he had scribbled in so many of those secret notes. "Chloe, I love you." She looked at him for a long moment, her eyes wide. Then she smiled, soft and radiant. "I love you too, Sam." And just like that, what began as scribbled words on a crumpled paper had turned into their first love. Graduation came too fast. Sam was accepted into a university in another state, while Chloe chose to stay close to home for her studies. They promised each other that distance wouldn't matter. Love was strong enough to survive anything, at least that's what they believed. The first few months were filled with late-night calls, long texts, and care packages. Chloe sent him handwritten letters just like the notes they used to exchange. Sam carried them in his backpack everywhere, unfolding them whenever he felt lonely. But distance has a way of creating cracks even in the strongest hearts. Schedules clashed. Sam got busy with assignments, Chloe with her own life. Some nights their calls lasted only a few minutes, ending with tired goodnights instead of laughter. Jealousy crept in. Chloe once mentioned a new friend from her writing class, and Sam's chest tightened. He tried not to show it, but his messages became shorter. She noticed. They argued more. Sometimes over nothing, sometimes over everything. There were days Chloe cried into her pillow, wondering if first love was meant to last. Sam, sitting alone in his dorm room, stared at her photo and asked himself the same. Yet neither let go. Despite the fights, despite the silence, they always found a way back. A text at 2 a.m., a surprise visit during holidays, a whispered, "I miss you." Still, when Chloe watched Sam board the bus back to his campus after winter break, a quiet fear settled in her heart. What if love wasn't enough? Years passed. Life moved fast. Sam graduated and started working in another city. Chloe published her first short stories in a local magazine. They spoke less and less until eventually silence replaced words. It wasn't a breakup, not exactly, it was just life pulling them apart. But fate has a way of bringing two hearts back together. One rainy evening, Chloe walked into a small coffee shop near her new apartment. She ordered her drink, turned around, and froze. There he was. Sam. Older, more confident, but still with the same warm eyes she had fallen in love with. For a heartbeat, neither moved. Then Sam smiled, that familiar crooked smile. "Chloe." Her heart raced. "Sam, it's you." They sat down, and hours melted away like minutes. They laughed about old teachers, teased each other about those silly classroom notes, and slowly touched upon the years they had missed. Sam admitted he had never stopped thinking about her. Chloe confessed that every story she had ever written was, in some way, about him. The rain outside turned into a soft drizzle, and when Sam reached across the table to take her hand, Chloe didn't pull away. Felt like no time had passed at all. Months later, under a golden sunset, Sam knelt down on one knee in the same high school courtyard where it all began. With trembling hands, he held out a ring. "Chloe, will you marry me?" Tears filled her eyes as she whispered, "Yes." 1,000 times yes. Their wedding was simple but filled with love. Friends cheered, families cried, and when Sam kissed his bride, it was as if the universe itself sighed in relief. Years after that, their children found a box hidden in the attic. Inside were dozens of old, crumpled classroom notes, each one a piece of the love story that started with two shy teenagers. And as Chloe and Sam sat together, gray hairs beginning to show but hands still tightly intertwined, they knew the truth. First love doesn't always fade. Sometimes it grows into forever. Two hearts,